All right. Welcome to tonight's testimonial call. We are excited to feature Anthony Gatto, and I can't wait for you guys to hear his story. I had the privilege of hearing his story a few weeks ago at the LifeWave conference, and I thought it was incredible. And so, really glad that you all can be here. I just will introduce myself briefly. Dr. Caroline Williams, and I am a functional medicine practitioner here in Las Vegas. Currently, I've been practicing for about 23 years and got introduced to LifeWave about a year and a half ago. And I started using it immediately with patients. And that's really the first thing that I did, even before I used it on myself. And I saw amazing results right away with one of my very difficult cases. And it was kind of full steam ahead from there. And so I've heard some amazing stories from a lot of different people, and I'm excited for us to hear Anthony's story tonight. Nikki, can you go over our disclaimer?
Yes, I can. I'm Nikki McCutcheon. I'm one of your co-hosts tonight. We are so thankful that you're here, and we just know that someone really cares about you to want you to know about this technology and invite you to the call tonight. Our medical disclaimer is Dr. Caroline, like she said, is a functional medicine doctor and chiropractor, but she is most likely not your doctor. So tonight, the information we'll be sharing is for informational purposes only. If you have any medical conditions, please check with your physician or healthcare practitioner. All LifeWave patches are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are on medications or have medical conditions or are pregnant or nursing, please check with your physician first. So Anthony, we are so excited to hear from you tonight.
Thank
So
you.
we are looking forward to hearing how you heard about the patches and how long you've been using them and what you've seen them do for you.
Okay, well, I get a little wordy and my story is a little long, but I'll try to condense it for you. I have a damaged rotator cuff, and I was in pain for about, I guess, a month and a half. I couldn't get to a doctor. I live here in Southwest Florida in the Naples area, and getting a doctor when you need them is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. But I'm having this problem with my shoulder, and I tell one of the guys that I golf with that I'm having this problem. He is in the medical business, the medical field. He actually sells the replacement parts for shoulders, hips, and knees. So when I told him I couldn't get an appointment with my doctor, he went ahead and got me an appointment the next day with my own doctor that I couldn't get. But I went and saw the doctor. The doctor did an x-ray immediately. And from the x-ray, he determined that my rotator cuff was shot. But he said that we should do an MRI just to make sure that his diagnosis was correct. On that Friday, we had the MRI done. Now, at that time, I could not raise my right arm more than 15 degrees off the ground. And every time I did, I mean, it was very painful. If you've ever had a rotator cuff problem, you'll know that raising that arm, lifting that weight is very difficult. So we do the MRI on that Friday. I'm not going to be able to get the results now for an entire week because he's off that week. So I have to put up with a week's worth of pain. The following day, Saturday, I wake up and I am in so much pain that I call a sports massage therapist that I know and beg her to take me in and see if she can give me some relief. Well, I get an appointment. I go in that afternoon. She gives me a fabulous massage. She even cups me, but in all honesty, nothing really worked. So as I am leaving the office and paying her at the counter, she said, you know, I have a bulging disc problem and I have this patch that I use and it seems to be working for me. Maybe you should try it. Now I'm thinking bulging disc, the torn rotator cuff. Um, there's no patch in the world that's going to help this, but I don't say anything. I thank her for the information. She gives me the name of the website. I go home and I'm thinking immediately it's snake oil. It's anything but reality. So I go home and I look it up and I'm reading some of the testimonies, and immediately I think, well, that's snake oil. There's nothing that can do all of these things that I'm seeing in the testimonies. No one patch, no 10 patches, in my cynical mind. I should say I sell real estate here in Southwest Florida, so I am cynical. But I decide on Wednesday, after a couple more days of excruciating pain, that I don't care. For $150, I would spend that on a meal that I wished after I ate that I didn't. So $150. I ordered the patches on Wednesday. They come in the following Saturday, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I get a patch. I put it on C7, the back of my neck, and literally I forget about it because now I'm not thinking patch. I'm thinking pain at that point. I go to an event that night, and my arm is so bad that I have to literally pick up my wrist with my left hand and put my arm on the table at the dining hall. That's Saturday night. Sunday, I forget I have the patch on. Still really nothing, but, I forget I have the patch on. I know you're supposed to do it for 12 hours. I wanted to start it immediately. Now I know better. I would have started it in the morning. But that Monday morning, the following Monday morning, I have the appointment with the orthopedic surgeon to get the MRI results. I wake up that morning and my arm feels better. As sleeping at night, I was actually able to sleep at night. The sheer weight of the arm was enough to cause me discomfort in sleeping and not being able to sleep. Even laying on my left side, just the weight of the arm was very discomforting. So I wake up that morning, the arm doesn't feel that bad, and I turn around and say to my wife, watch this. And I lift my arm up 90 degrees, which is like insane because I couldn't lift it up 15 degrees less than 30 hours earlier. So I said, could it be that patch? Yeah, no, it can't be the patch, So I go to the doctor that day and I don't show him what I can do with my arm because I want to get his diagnosis first. Sit down. He looks at me, comes in the office. He said, I've got bad news for you. The MRI shows that your shoulder is indeed shot. The tendons in your rotator cuff, I cannot reattach them. The only thing we can offer you is a reverse shoulder replacement. I said, well, that's all well and good, but look at this. Now, don't forget, a week earlier, he saw that I could not, a little over a week, the Friday before, I could not lift it 15 degrees. So I showed him that I can lift it 90 degrees, and he's a little taken aback because he can't understand why. I explained to him the only thing that I have done since was put a patch on at 4 o'clock on Saturday. And I woke up this morning, that Monday morning, and I can now lift my arm 90 degrees. I said, well, I'm not doing anything with a reverse shoulder replacement. I've got 29 patches left. I'm going to use them and see where this goes. He said, well, to be honest with you, I would do the same thing if I were you. Seeing the results you got with just one patch. Never heard of the patches. And I said to him, you probably never want to hear about these patches again. It's not going to be good for your business. But I leave and I dutifully use the patch until the following Friday when I'm leaving for Oregon. By that Friday, I am able to chip. I golf, and I'm able to chip and putt, which doesn't require a lot of shoulder movement. That's why I did it. But I was able to do that. And I was actually at that point able to point directly up 180 degrees, point to the sky. I leave for Oregon. I'm visiting with my grandchildren. By Sunday, I feel good enough that I say to my grandchildren, let's see if I can play 9 holes of golf because I feel like I can. I had gone down into the garage, got a set of clubs down, swung a club, saw that I could actually swing a club. And if anybody golfs, they know that's with a torn rotator cuff, a near impossibility. But we went and I played 9 holes of golf that day. I did not push it because I was afraid that I would re-injure it again. I Still don't know what's going on in the shoulder, other than the fact that I can use it now. So that was Sunday. I got back to Florida on Wednesday, and I go to my country club. The same gentleman that got me the appointment for the doctor, who is in the medical business, sees me walking up to the driving range and says, "What are you doing here? I know you couldn't have gotten a shoulder replacement that quickly and recovered, because it's a 10 to 12 week recovery period." I said, "No, I did not." I said, "But watch this." I put a tee in the ground, and I got my driver out, and I hit the ball. He was taken aback, and I tell him the story about the patch. He immediately goes to the bench, puts his club down, goes to the bench, and he orders the patch himself. Now, I am very skeptical still. Was I a one-off? Was this something that would have healed itself if I just let it go? I doubt it, because I was in that. I've had that much pain for almost a month prior to going and seeing the doctor, prior to actually using the patch. So I was in pain for a while. He orders the patch, and seems 7 days later. And 7 days later, I said, "Did you get your patch? Did you use it?" He said, "I can't believe it." He said, "I got them because I have shoulder problems as well, and it has helped me tremendously." So now I'm thinking, might be onto something with this patch. Again, still skeptical. And, selling high-priced real estate here in Southwest Florida, the first thing I don't want to do is destroy my reputation selling something that is snake oil, So I am still hesitant to brag and boast about this patch, but I see someone else who knew that I was having a shoulder problem. It happened to be the director of golf of my club. And same thing. "How's your shoulder?" I tell him the whole story. He is now a preferred, I think a preferred plus member. He's on a monthly basis getting his patches. But I gave him a couple of patches to start out with. And he texted me like 2 days later and said, "Nothing. I really didn't get anything from it." Okay, maybe it doesn't work on everybody. Maybe, again, I was a one-off. Maybe my friend, the golfer, got lucky as well. I don't know. I'm still not confident enough to be telling the world about this fabulous patch. But I get an email from him 4 days later. He was at a golf tournament, actually on vacation at a golf tournament. I get an email from him, and he says, "Mr. Gatto, I want to thank you for introducing me to that patch. And how can I get more?" So now, knowing how skeptical he was, and he even said in the email, "I know I was skeptical, but I am totally on board. How can I get more?" So now I'm figuring, okay, it worked for me. It worked for my friend. It worked for the director. Now I'm feeling more confident in being able to tell my friends, strictly my friends, no clients at this point, but my friends, what the patch did for me. I said, I don't know what maladies you may have. And at that point, the only thing I knew the patch did was help me with the pain in my shoulder. I didn't know it had all of these other pluses to it. So I get a phone call. Oh, no, I pull into the barn another day. This is after the director got his patches and had a positive result. I pull into the barn with my card another day. And one of the guys in the barn said, "There's a couple of members of the club upstairs in the dining room that would like you to come up and join them. And I think it's about your patch." Now word is starting to spread. The director must have told these individuals who I sat down with, told them the story as well. They were leaving for Europe in 2 days. Luckily for them, I had an extra pack of patches and I sold it to them. Got a text message from them about a week later. The patch was working, everything was fine. She had shoulder problems, he had back problems, and they both were using the patch. Now I'm building up my confidence in this product. I cannot sell anything I don't believe in. So I have to believe in it. And now I'm a believer. All of those I've got another story to tell you, but all of those stories that I had read, those testimonials I had read that they sure were baloney. Now I'm starting to believe them. I get another call from a woman that I don't know. She got a couple of patches from someone that did buy patches from me. It started to snowball very quickly. And she introduced herself, told me her name. She said who had given her the patches. She said, I have had a rash for 15 years. Now I'm saying to myself, okay, a rash, this thing heals rashes too. Said, I have had a rash for 15 years, and the doctor has given me injections. The doctor has given me pills. The doctor has given me topicals, and nothing has worked. Joellen, the person I had sold the patches to, gave her a few patches. She said within 2 to 3 days, her rash started going away, and now she is rash free. Now do I really believe all of this? I mean, if it wasn't first hand knowledge, if somebody was telling me this, I definitely wouldn't believe it. But this happened to me. So, I have to believe my eyes and my ears. And now I am so on board. I'm going to the conference because I want to know more about this. I don't know enough about it. And one thing I will say, if you're going to get involved with this product, you need to be on a team such as Ed and Dr. Caroline, because you have with them a wealth of knowledge and a support system behind you that I do not have at this point. I am with another team here in South Florida and don't have any of this. But I was fortunate enough to run into Dr. Caroline quite by accident at the conference. I thought my time at the conference was pretty much wasted because I'm used to going to a conference like this and spending a couple of days, 2, 3 days in breakout sessions every day, 3, 4, 5 sessions a day, each one specific to a topic, getting in depth. And here at this conference, I wasn't getting that, but I ran into Dr. Caroline quite by accident. We started talking on a walk back to the hotel we were staying at, which was about 1.5 miles away. And at least it seemed that far of a walk. And in that brief period, just walking back with her and discussing the patch and, her knowledge with it, I said to her, are you meeting anyone for lunch? And she said, no. I said, can I buy you lunch and pick your brain? And she was gracious enough to accept my invitation. We went to lunch. She blew me away with her knowledge. I actually stopped her in the beginning and said, would you mind if I videoed this? Because I am sure as hell not going to remember all the things you're telling me. And I'm so glad I did because I use that as reference now for my expertise in this with this product. It just was amazing. At that conference, there were 3,000 people. I was shocked at that because I didn't think it would be that big, but there were 3,000 people. And on the very first night, I made it my mission to talk to as many attendees as possible. I wanted to know facts. I want to know how long have you been with the product? What brought you to the product? What malady did you have that it has helped? Every person I talked to, a year and a half, a year, 3 years, and every one of them had a story like mine. Not to do with the shoulder, but I ran into one woman. She said she had bipolar disorder. She was depressive. She was on 12 different medications, and now she's only on 2 medications. And story after story after story. Now I tend to believe every one of those testimonials that they have online. So all I could say is I am a believer. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm actually doing this because I actually get a great deal of satisfaction from somebody calling me up and saying, thank you. You have taken my pain away. You have taken my rash away. You've got me back on the tennis court. You have me back on the golf course. It's very rewarding from that standpoint. But now I learned you can make a lot of money doing this as well. So me being an entrepreneur from 9 years old, I see a future here in selling this product, but it's really not selling a product. It's being a little bit evangelical about it, telling people about my story in particular, and playing off and using my credibility that I already have developed over the many years that I've been in the real estate and mortgage business. I owned a mortgage company up north for 20 years before I came here to Southwest Florida. So I am utilizing all of the contacts that I have had over the years. I've owned clothing stores, I've owned restaurants. I've been an entrepreneur, as they say, all my life. And I'm going to use all of those contacts to spread the word and spread the joy of being able to help somebody and have other people help somebody.
So Anthony,
yes.
What were you just using the X39?
I was just using the X39. I didn't know it. I saw that there were other products to use, but again, I did not know enough about the other. I wasn't convinced or sold even after my miraculous recovery. Again, I thought maybe it was a fluke, a one-off. I was going to get better on my own, whatever. But that was the purpose for me going to the conference, because I wanted to learn more about the other products, about this product, about the company. And another thing, I wanted to see what the culture was like in the company. And I've been involved entrepreneurially. I've been the boss all the time. Since I have been in my first few years in the mortgage business, where I was a state manager for a large national mortgage company, I got involved in the corporate culture, and I saw there's a culture in every company, every large corporation, every medium-sized corporation. There is a certain culture there. So I wanted to see what the culture was with this company. And I must say, the culture is one of thousands of people that are true believers because of how the product has touched them, which makes it to me very genuine.
And you said you noticed results like a week, like it was about a week or so when you started?
No, I started the patch at 4 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and by Monday morning, that same Monday morning, that very next Monday morning, I was able to raise my arm 90 degrees, which was incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so exciting after being in that much pain.
I can't see you. There's this meeting is being recorded sign over your face.
Oh, you just have to click got it, and it'll go away.
Oh, I got it. It was too low. I couldn't see
No,
it.
you're good. Yes, so Dr. Caroline, tell us how this could happen with his shoulder and so quickly.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. And I just want to say, Anthony, it's been such an honor and a pleasure knowing you, meeting you, knowing you, and getting to know you and hearing your story. And I felt like you had an amazing story. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with our team. And it gives people hope. I think that's the thing. You mentioned the culture and LifeWave. I think that if I were to use one word, and I think they talked about this at the conference, that it would be hope, right? Hearing people's stories about what is possible gives people hope. And not everybody's going to have experience. But like, as you mentioned, some people, it might take a little bit longer for them to see changes and results. And that really just has to do with the innate intelligence of our bodies. That's one of the things that I have tremendous amount of respect for, is the innate intelligence that keeps us alive, prioritizes what's necessary and what's most important in any given moment in terms of how our resources within our body is used. And so if somebody does start a patch and they have an issue that's bothering them, it does not mean the patch is not helping another challenge that might be more important. If somebody's got a kidney issue and a shoulder issue, and the kidney issue is more life-threatening, then the resources might be go to that kidney over the shoulder, right? In your situation, you were able to see results very quickly, which is truly amazing. And the X39, has does a lot of things. I mean, one of the things that we talk about is the enzyme GHKCU that it activates, and then that stimulates stem cell production. And the stem cells can then be used to be made into any other type of cell within the body. So regeneration and repair can take place. But it is going to have some degree of reduction in inflammation as well. The body, I mean, everything really comes down to frequency and energy. And so it's interesting in the nutritional world, there's a lot of practitioners that will literally just have you, they'll use applied kinesiology to determine what you need. And they're literally just have you hold the supplement that you would take because they're checking the energetics aspect of how that's going to influence you. And so, in my opinion, really you could apply that to anything, right? So from an energetic perspective, you can see changes pretty quickly from that perspective.
I was not looking for a change. Again, my skepticism made me think I wasn't expecting it. And my skepticism would have probably dominated, or should have, in most cases, dominated the effect of this. Let me say, I'm 73 this month. Mm-hmm. I do not take a lot of medication. So I do not take any actually medication. So that's in my favor.
Yes, it is. You're right.
It was able to help me. Mm-hmm. But even for those, and a couple of the people, some of my friends, I mean, you saw my list of friends that are buying from me. I know them intimately. They do have medical challenges that I don't have. And the patch worked for them. So, if awesome. I think, see what you said earlier about giving them hope. Yes. I think the fact that they hear my story, mm-hmm. and that is the hope that they think they're going to get the same results. And it's about like the power of positive thinking. If you think there's only 2 people that I have given this patch to that it didn't work for, and both of them are my relatives. And I think that may have something to do with it psychologically. If you're thinking this is never going to work, well, there's an old saying.
Yes.
If you believe it's not going to work, it won't. Yes. If you believe it will work, it probably will.
100%, 100%. I would just chalk that up to resistance. So there's mental resistance, there's emotional resistance, there's literally physiological resistance. So you mentioned, not being on many medications. People who are on a lot of medications, there's going to be physiological resistance in their body. There's just more interference, right? And so these things all play a role. So somebody like a child, you work with a child in terms of getting children better, they respond very quickly because they have less resistance in their bodies, and so there's so many things that can create resistance. But what you just described is, a lot of people just are not open, and so this resistance really could even affect their perception. It doesn't even mean that something's not changing, it's just their perception around it will not pick it up because they're just completely resistant to it. You could physiologically measure changes. I've certainly done that with some of my measurement tools, that you could measure changes in a person, but they weren't picking it up consciously that changes were occurring, Right. So that's something I think very important for the average person to know. Practitioners would understand that because we're doing a lot of testing all the time, and we can see physiological changes in a person that have taken place that a person would not consciously necessarily be aware of. And so we understand how that works. But a lot of people expect to consciously see a difference. And if they don't consciously see a difference, they think nothing's happened. And that's just not true.
I think if you know your body, I'll give you a perfect example. My wife saw what happened for me,
right,
and was still skeptical. She had plantar fasciitis. She has had digestive problems. We're married. We're going to be married 53 years this May. She has had digestive problems. Yeah, I know it's a long time,
That's
but
great.
she has had digestive problems that entire time. So finally, after about, I guess, another month, I'm on it for 2 months, and she's starting to see me have more energy.
Hmm.
Now I'm able to do more things than I could have done before. Uh, One of the things I'm able to do now is I'm able to play tennis. And playing tennis is a lot more physically challenging and difficult than playing golf. I can tell you that. To swing a
Yeah.
racket and hit a ball, which I was very reluctant to do, but again, I kept building my own confidence up and getting out there with a ball machine and doing it very slowly. But I'm out there playing tennis now. I was
Wow.
afraid to go back into the gym, and not that I
Hmm.
lift a lot of weights, heavy weights, but I stopped going to the gym years ago. I'm
Hmm.
back in the gym. I'm back lifting. I try to do that 3 days a week. Not heavy weights, just enough to stay toned and in shape. But these
Yeah.
are all things that I could not do before, not only physically,
Right.
but mentally. Now I
Hmm.
have more energy. I feel more alive. It does more than just heal that one thing that's ailing you. So
Yeah.
anyway, my
Absolutely.
wife starts taking the patch. We went down to 2 patches the other day. No, we
Hmm.
had 3 patches each. We were using 49 and 39. And I had to place an order because the two that I just got in, I had to sell to friends of mine to please, I need it now. So
Yeah.
I sold them to them. So now we're down to the 3 patches. And I said, if it doesn't come in, you don't get your patch. Well, she threatened to hide her patches on me. Unfortunately, they came in today. So tomorrow we have fresh patches for we didn't miss a beat. But she is a
Awesome.
true believer now. She goes through the website and says, "Well, why don't you get me the cream for my face?" And I said, "Well, we
Yeah.
have aloe vera. Use aloe vera. Isn't that for your
Yeah.
skin?"
Oh, it's
So
amazing. Alavita is
aloe
amazing.
vera.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
got it. I
Yes.
bought. I think I became a diamond, and they gave me an extra set of
Extra sleeve.
patches,
Yeah.
and they threw the sleeve in, and I didn't know what it was until we went
Yeah.
to the conference. And when I saw what it was, I
Yeah.
said, "I have the patches. I might as well wear them." Now we're
Yeah.
both wearing the Alavita patches.
Awesome.
What
Awesome.
one of the he wasn't a speaker. I think he was the president of the U.S. He
Hmm.
was the moderator on stage,
Oh,
and
okay. Yes.
I forget his name, but he jokingly said, "I met someone today who has 29 patches on. I only have 7." And I didn't get the joke at that point, but now I get it. And
Yeah.
speaking with you, you can layer them. Uh, I
Yes.
mean,
It sounds like Dr.
this
Roy. Dr. Roy, how many patches does Dr. Roy usually wear, Ed?
35.
35.
Yeah,
no,
amazing.
Yeah, he's got a
Amazing.
vest. He puts
we
a
we don't
vest.
have 35 patches.
Oh, no, he adds. He puts 5 sets of energy enhancers.
It's
Jeez,
Crazy.
amazing.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to be around him.
He's got a lot of energy. Let's just say that. Yeah, he's doing
Well,
good.
I
But
have
yeah,
more.
the Alavita is amazing. I love the Alavita. Yeah.
And I think how I look at this and how I approach this, because I
Hmm.
don't want anybody to have a bad experience with it. I look at things very pragmatically.
Hmm.
I am a very much a believer in that there's nothing better for recovery than the human body. The machines we invent, the medicines we invent, none of those are as good as our human body and combating our diseases and helping us heal. So this fits in perfectly with my
Yeah,
line of thinking.
I
And
agree.
what I was getting to was to try to give somebody that hope. Don't look at it as it's going to fix you tomorrow.
Right.
Look at it as if, well, you take a multivitamin, do you take C, do you take D, do you take all these supplements? This is another supplement. If you look at
Yes.
it that way and you proceed that way, it's what, $3 a day if you if
Hmm.
you buy them for $99, $5 a day. If you look at it from that perspective and you stick with it long enough, you will feel the results because I've seen
Oh
it in
yeah.
other people. I
You
mean,
can
not only
feel
does
it
it
and you can
help
see
them,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
as you can see, it makes me talk a lot.
No, it's great. It's great. And I mean, you're right on. I mean, considering that you just learned about this, I mean, to listen to you talk about it, it sounds like you understand it. Like you understand the process. You've seen the power of how it works. Like you're way ahead of the game of a lot of people that come in, for sure, Anthony. So I just feel like you're going to help a lot of people. You're going to
Oh, I
help a
know
lot.
it. I mean,
Mhm.
yesterday I was at the range, just hitting balls out, and when I came in, the cart guy turned around and said, "Mr. So and So would like to speak to you about your patches." So I
Awesome.
gave I have to have cards made. That's my next step. I'll probably do it over the weekend, because the only cards I have are my Sotheby's cards. So I gave them a card. I said, "Have them give me a call." And this is going to snowball. I mean, I sit in an area that is just chock full of old people.
Yeah.
And
That
anybody over 50, 60 years old has something that they would like to improve on, whether it be their shoulder, their back, their knees, whatever, their
mhm,
energy level. Um, I'm just going to sell
absolutely.
the heck out of this stuff because, and it's going to sell itself, really.
Yes,
This
absolutely.
is not something that requires a sales pitch,
Right.
because sales pitches are canned, and I can detect somebody trying to sell me something, and it turns me right off. Even with real estate. Now, as I said, I sell high priced real estate. I cannot hard sell somebody, especially the clientele that I have to deal with. They have 3, 4, 5 homes.
Mhm.
So they've been around the block a dozen times. So it's strict sincerity, and it's a business transaction. I have to be as genuine as possible. If I get the deal, I get it. If I don't get it, fine. Go see somebody else that you feel more comfortable with. And the same thing with this. I don't push it on anybody. My closing line is $150. Try it. If it doesn't work, what did you lose? And as you told me, and Ed told me last night, lose next to nothing, because if it doesn't work in that first 90 days for a retail customer, they can return and get their money back. 30 days for us.
Yeah,
Somebody's a brand partner. So you have nothing to lose. Try
absolutely.
it. You might like it.
So we are over time tonight, but Anthony, that was so amazing. Your story is just so wonderful. And thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for blessing us with your story tonight. And so anything else you want to say, Dr. Caroline?
Um, yes, I'm gonna close here in a second. Pastor Ed, did you want to add something? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, I have a question for you, Anthony. I know you probably told us a couple of things that you don't want to share with us right now, and I respect you for that. But I wanted to ask you at the
Don't
convention.
go to the hair.
No, I'm not. I'm not. That's the next video. This guy's incredible, guys. I just gotta tell you, he's incredible. What I wanted to ask you, though, Dr. Caroline was patching you during the convention for with different patches. What was your reaction with the Eon and Ice Wave? I never got a chance to ask you how did it turn out for you?
Well, Ice Wave, I don't think I really need, because I think the 39, whatever 39 did for me, really did a great job. So it would be like just piling on to add the Ice Wave. But I wanted her to patch me because I wanted to see her technique. I wanted to listen to her and hear her explanation while she was doing it. I wanted to be her guinea pig so that I can, take that, translate it to somebody else down the line when it comes to that for me. But the Eon, again, was something that, and I've heard a few people talk about it, is that calming, calms
Hmm.
the body, sort of gets you in a state of being able to heal whatever it is you're looking to heal. Um,
Hmm.
I don't use Eon at this point. I'm using what I have. I'm using 39. I'm using 49, and I'm using the Alavita. I probably will try. I don't even know all of the begins with the G.
Glutathione.
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 Glutathione. Yeah,
Hmm.
just to see what it does for me. Again, I know my body very well. I'm very in tune with my body, which is a good thing because I note the differences. I can really tell the difference that this patch has had on me. When you're not in touch with your body, and it's easy to get to that point. And I'm sorry we're going over, and I apologize for dominating here. But when you are really having other problems, it's hard to get past them to get in touch with your body. But I think you really have to make an effort to do that, because unless you're in touch with your body, you're not going to get that positive feedback. Even though it's there, you're not going to feel it.
Right.
You're not going to allow it to happen. So, and it's difficult. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. When you're in pain or you're having difficulties with anything, it's very difficult to get beyond that. And I'm going to zip it up at this point.
We appreciate
you
sharing.
Another question.
We appreciate your sharing with us tonight, Anthony, taking time to do that. And we loved hearing your story. And just want to mention to anybody that's on the call that's new, definitely get with the person who invited you, and they can help walk you through how to get the product or answer any questions that you have in regards to that. Just one last opportunity to ask a question. Does anybody else have anything else they want to ask? All right.
One thing, Dr. Caroline, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
There is a trip, guys, that we all should make it a second convention. Okay. And this trip is in Cancun. And it's very easy to do. I know Brother Dave and Sister Linda, they are incredible preferred customers people. What the company wants to do is we have gone from, there's a quota that we have to keep between customers and brand partners, or preferred customers and brand partners. So they want to ramp up the preferred customers line. And so they're giving us a chance to go to all-inclusive paid trip to Cancun, so Mexico. So wouldn't it be cool if we as a team, we made it to the convention all together? So let's kick this off. And I know I don't want to take any limelight from Anthony because he did a great testimonial, but I wanted just to invite you. We'll make we have made the videos for the Cancun convention. It's very easy. The easiest thing, guys, is get 17 preferred customers. I think Anthony's got quite a number of good preferred customers already. So 17 gets you 50 points and gets you a ticket to get to the convention. 25 preferred customers. And we got 2 months to do it. We got to February the 2nd, I believe, to make it. And if we do that, you automatically enter. There's no points or people that are going to go ahead of us like the prior trips. This is, you get 50 points, you're automatically in. And let's go celebrate. It'll be awesome and incredible to see you guys there. So that'd
be awesome. Let's do it. I love Cancun. Let's do it.
Is that Cancun for 2 or for 1?
50 points gets you 1 ticket. 75 points gets you 2 tickets. So you and your wife.
Wow.
There you
That's
go.
awesome. I have a feeling Anthony's going to make that happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
At least 1, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, good. Let's do it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here again. And we will definitely, hopefully, see you next Wednesday for the continuation of the heart health segment. And then we'll have another testimonial call on next Thursday. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Oh, thank you for listening to me.
Be blessed, everyone.
Thank you, Anthony, for sharing your wonderful story with us.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Great job.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. God bless.